Man, if you're following the Eagles as closely as we are, you already know this team brings excitement every single week, and this season has been no exception. Right out of the gate, the defense has been turning heads, and honestly, it's hard not to argue that this is the best unit in the league right now. From the way they handle pressure in the trenches to the sideline-to-sideline range they show in coverage, every single player on that defense seems to understand not just their role, but how to elevate the entire group. You look at the depth on the roster, and it's not just a handful of stars. It's a collective effort that makes it so difficult for opponents to find a rhythm. And that starts with the leadership on and off the field. Vic Fangio has done an incredible job orchestrating this unit, but the players themselves deserve just as much credit for the way they communicate, adjust, and consistently execute at a high level. Now, if we talk about injuries, which is always a hot topic when it comes to any NFL team, the Eagles have had their fair share of battles this season. Jalen Carter is dealing with a hip issue, Nico Dean's hamstring has been a concern, Dallas Goedert is managing a knee injury, Lane Johnson is still nursing his own setback, Jalen Phillips has been dealing with an ankle, and Jayad Campbell is working through a shoulder situation even though he's been practicing. Considering all of that, it's pretty clear that resting some of these key players, especially before the playoffs, could be a smart strategy. There's no official bye week to lean on, so sometimes creating your own breathing room is exactly what a team needs to stay sharp and healthy for the most critical games of the season. And the guys who aren't even listed on the injury report probably have some minor bumps and bruises that you don't see on paper. So, keeping them fresh is essential. Watching Hard Knocks this season really gave some insight into why the Eagles' defense operates at such a high level. It's easy to notice the big plays on the stat sheet, but it's the subtle adjustments, the awareness, and the intelligence that set this group apart. Watching a quarterback like Josh Allen try to make plays against them, it's clear that this defense doesn't just react, they anticipate. They read formations, they communicate, and they execute with precision. Whether it's closing gaps on a run, taking the right angles to stop a receiver after the catch, or just collapsing the pocket and forcing hurried decisions, this unit functions like a finely tuned machine. You see players like Christian Parker calling out plays, Jalen Carter reading the tendencies, and others stepping up in key moments to make game-changing stops. Every single member has a role, and they understand that one missed assignment can be the difference between a win and a loss. That cohesion and football IQ is why they are so dominant week in and week out. Speaking of Jalen Carter, it's impossible not to highlight the impact he has on this defense. Even with some injuries hampering him this season, his presence on the line makes everyone around him better. He's not just a physical specimen. He's incredibly smart in how he plays the game. Watching him in action against teams like the Bills, you can see him anticipate the play, recognize the scheme, and position himself in a way that maximizes his effectiveness. That awareness elevates the rest of the defensive line and allows other players to make plays around him. It's one thing to have talent, but it's another thing entirely to combine that talent with intelligence on the field, and Jalen Carter does it at an elite level. His ability to stay disciplined, read formations, and react accordingly shows why he's not just a star, but a cornerstone of this unit. When he's on the field, close to full strength, he can completely change the dynamic of a game, and that's exactly why he's been recognized as a top player despite some health challenges this year. And you can't ignore the broader defensive line, either. Jordan Davis, Marlon Drumgo, Jalen Phillips, Nolan Smith, Jalen Hurts. The combination of skill, speed, and technique across this line create a nightmare for opposing offenses. Each player brings something different to the table, whether it's raw power, agility, or the ability to penetrate gaps and disrupt timing. It's not about one player making the highlight plays. It's about how all these individuals mesh and amplify each other's strengths. Even when the team faces injuries or challenges, this unit has consistently shown that they can adapt and perform at a high level. The way they rally to the football, tackle in space, and maintain discipline against elite rushing and passing attacks is truly remarkable. Switching gears to the offensive side of the ball, the dynamic between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown has been a storyline this season that caught a lot of attention. Early on, people speculated about tension or friction between the two, but it's clear now that any past rumors were overblown. Observing the way they interact, celebrate together, and support each other shows that their relationship is more like a brotherhood than anything else. Jalen Hurts' rare posts on social media, celebrating A.J. Brown, reflect a growing bond that goes beyond just on-field performance. When you watch the game film, see them communicating, and notice how they celebrate touchdowns together, it becomes obvious that any perceived issues from earlier in the season have been resolved. Their connection is critical because chemistry like that translates directly into better offensive execution. You can see that the trust and understanding between them allow for more creative plays, better timing, and overall improved team performance. It's also a reminder that some of the off-field noise often doesn't reflect the reality of team dynamics. The Eagles' ability to balance a dominant defense with an explosive offense is what makes this team special. The intelligence and talent on defense give the offense room to operate, and the growing chemistry between key offensive players ensures that the team can capitalize on those opportunities. Players like Jalen Carter, Christian Parker, and the rest of the defensive squad show how preparation and awareness translate into game-changing plays. Meanwhile, Hurts and Brown's synergy on offense demonstrates how communication, trust, and understanding can elevate an entire unit. Every week, this team continues to adapt, improve, and find new ways to challenge opponents. It's also worth noting the overall philosophy behind the Eagles' success. This is a team that emphasizes preparation, adaptability, and teamwork. They prioritize putting players in the right positions to succeed and allow the stars to shine without depending solely on individual heroics. When you watch the film, you see a defense that's coordinated, disciplined, and aggressive, yet smart enough to adjust in real time. Offensively, the team capitalizes on matchups, exploits weaknesses, and leverages the unique skill sets of its players. Every decision, from the coaching strategy down to the smallest on-field adjustment, contributes to the overall performance, and it's that level of detail and execution that separates good teams from elite ones. Now, diving deeper into the Eagles' offensive dynamics, it's impossible not to talk about how much Jalen Hurts has grown as a leader this season. Watching him on the field, you can see a quarterback who not only understands the playbook inside and out, but also has a remarkable ability to read defenses in real time. His football IQ is off the charts, and it shows in the way he makes split-second decisions, manipulates coverage, and keeps the offense moving even under heavy pressure. The way he adjusts in the pocket, whether it's stepping up to avoid a sack or finding a receiver on a tight window, demonstrates why he's becoming one of the most dangerous dual-threat quarterbacks in the league. Every time he scrambles or extends a play, it's not just athleticism, it's intelligence and awareness combined, and that has a ripple effect across the entire offensive unit. Receivers, linemen, and running backs all play with confidence because they know their quarterback can make the right read and put the ball in the perfect spot. Speaking of receivers, A.J. Brown's role can't be understated. He's more than just a playmaker. He's a force that commands attention from any defense. Every time he lines up, defenders have to account for him, and that attention often opens opportunities for other players. But it's not just about physical talent. Brown's ability to read the field, adjust to coverage, and find the soft spots and zones makes him incredibly reliable, especially in critical situations. His connection with Hurts has visibly strengthened over the course of the season, and it's evident on plays where timing, trust, and anticipation are key. When you watch them in sync, it's like they know exactly where the other will be, and that synchronization creates explosive plays that shift momentum in the blink of an eye. You can see why the chemistry between Hurts and Brown is a focal point for analysts, but for fans, it's just exciting football at its purest. And let's not forget about the running game, which continues to be a crucial component of the Eagles' offensive strategy. The offensive line has been paving the way, and players like Kenneth Gainwell and Miles Sanders are capitalizing on those lanes with vision, patience, and speed. Every time they break through the first level of defenders, you can see the calculated burst as they look for cutback lanes and exploit open space. The combination of line play, backfield awareness, and Hurts' own running ability makes the Eagles' ground attack extremely difficult to defend. It's a balanced approach where the running game doesn't just exist to control the clock. It also sets up the passing game, keeps defenses honest, and allows Hurts to operate with more options and flexibility. The synergy between the offensive line, backs, and quarterback is seamless, and it's one of the reasons the Eagles are able to maintain sustained drives and consistently put points on the board. Meanwhile, the team's special teams unit has quietly played an important role as well. Often overlooked by casual fans, these players make a difference in field position, momentum, and sometimes even directly in scoring. Punt coverage, kick returns, and field goal execution are all facets where the Eagles have excelled, showing attention to detail and discipline across all three phases of the game. These incremental advantages add up, and in high-level competition, those small differences often determine who wins and loses. The attention to depth and preparation across the roster underscores the professionalism of the organization and the commitment of every player to contribute, whether they are in the starting lineup or rotating in during key moments. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a candid and somewhat surprising revelation, Josh Sweat, former defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles, recently opened up about his time away from the team, hinting at a sense of regret over his decision to leave. Known for his explosive presence on the field and his relentless pursuit of quarterbacks, Sweat's departure from the Eagles initially came as a shock to fans and analysts alike, especially considering his deep connection with the team and the city. Sources close to the player suggest that Sweat's comments are more than just casual reflections. Insiders hint that he's been closely monitoring the Eagles' current defensive schemes and personnel moves, and the more he observes, the more he seems to question his choice. While no official statements have been made regarding a potential return, speculation is rife across the league that Sweat could be eyeing a reunion, particularly if the Eagles find themselves in need of bolstering their pass rush. The timing of Sweat's confession has fueled discussions among fans and pundits alike. Some see it as a strategic move, perhaps laying the groundwork for negotiations or signaling interest in returning to Philadelphia. Others interpret it as a genuine moment of vulnerability, a rare glimpse into the mindset of a player who clearly values the relationships and culture he experienced with his former team. Analysts note that the Eagles' defense has evolved in Sweat's absence, but his unique skill set, combining speed, agility, and an uncanny ability to pressure the quarterback, remains difficult to replace. There is speculation that if he were to return, Sweat could slot seamlessly back into the defensive lineup, potentially elevating the team's pass rush to new heights. Meanwhile, rival teams may also be keeping a close eye, as any movement involving a player of Sweat's caliber could trigger a ripple effect in free agency. Of course, nothing is confirmed, and the Eagles organization has remained tight-lipped about any potential discussions. Yet, the rumor mill is buzzing. Could this be the start of an unexpected mid-season reunion, or merely a reflection of what-ifs in Sweat's career? For fans who have long admired his intensity and commitment, the idea of him donning the midnight green once more is tantalizing. As the speculation grows, all eyes will remain on both Sweat and the Eagles, waiting to see whether this revelation will translate into real movement on the field. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.